Against all our all. With community we cannot fail, as we give it all our all. We will give it all. We will give it all. We will be united in giving it our all.
Every business leader has been asked to make use of all the voices in the room. So the seating is going to be flexible. It'll be up to every business leader to tell us how that he wants us to sit and where he's going to and she's going to be comfortable to sit. Okay. So another round of thanks to FELIX.
It's always challenging. There's this thing, nervousness that always comes when you're taking up something. Actually, we can see, like we are, because much of the session we will be breaking into small groups as per instructions. That's what I saw. Okay. Let me just first thank the Lord for bringing us here today. We have acknowledged Him in our small deliberations, but let's just practically and say, God, thank you. I pray. Father, we thank you in the name of Jesus for this new wonderful day. And we thank you for the opportunity to be alive. For everything we shall be doing in this place, Lord, we give you glory and honor. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen. Praise God. My topic is on leadership, but servant leadership. So this is how I did, it would be like, how can a school principal be a servant leader to other layers in the school? I looked at a school, I specifically focused at a school, but it is not leaving out other BLs. You know, we are leadership in different areas where we work with people, and in those working areas, we've got different layers or stakeholders that we work with. Hence, the question was, how can a school principal be a servant leader to the other layers in the school? When I say layers, I was referring to SMTs, SGBs, your other CLs, and your staff components. I mean, even the work staff that mean guys, they are all coming in. That's the topic. But before I think I move forward with the topic, the other aspect or issue that is there I want to do with you is to contract with you guys so that we won't have any interruptions or challenges that we can encounter in the process whilst I'm doing the presentation. So I would expect, I want you, ladies and gentlemen, to participate where need be, especially when we get into the groups, when we break up into groups. And I also want you to pay attention to, as I'll be sharing with you. Probably, let me say up front, among us, is there anyone who would want to raise up something that you think you might do or want to do during the session so that you cannot be interrupted? You want to put it up front that I might know about you so that we don't get a lot of jittering and movements within. Anyone who would want to say something, you will all be comfortable. Meaning that there will be no ups and downs. We'll all be seated paying attention. Thank you very much. Leadership has got the same principles across the board. But there was one kind of leadership that I'm specifically focusing on: servanthood leadership. To serve as a servant. Before, we are going to break into groups and I'll give you things to look at, not very long. But what I want to highlight from our more time to think, there's something that caught my eye about leadership, servanthood leadership. It is a story or the analogy of the story of the president of Zambia. It was shared between Nancy and a man by the name Martin Kalungu Bandu. So I took that and I learned a great lesson. The president of Zambia had a challenge that he was facing. The challenge was to address, they were supposed to fire all the diplomats just in a day's time. and then he didn't know what to do. And when they were going to fire those diplomats, as a country, they were going to be severely affected. And the president didn't know what to do. Then Martin knew about it. And Martin was not one of the cabinet members to the president, but he was just somebody, an ordinary person, but who had the heart for the nation. When he heard about it, he was worried, how can I get hold of the president and just talk to him? And Martin did all he could. And he faced challenges in terms of resistance because of who he was. Did he have an appointment with the president? Who was he? You know what happens when you go to you want to speak to the CEO of a company. At the gate, they can stop you and get you back. Or you get to the PA can stop you and go back. But Martin pushed his way until he got to the president. The president opened his heart, and then he discussed with Martin. Now, from there we see that, you remember we did it in the what did you think, in the session of time to think. So what I learned there is the president created a thinking environment for the diplomats. I'm paraphrasing now. The president presented a thinking environment. So after Martin spoke to him, the president called all the diplomats. He brought them under one room. Remember, one of the things is like you bring them under one room and let every voice be heard. And when they were in that room, the president said, what is it that is making you busy as diplomats? He was asking about the current affairs. They all knew that there is this issue, they were supposed to be fired. Then he asked them to say, what is it that makes you busy? Then they interacted. But at the end of the day, the president presented his case. After everybody had given his idea, everybody had spoken what he thought about the situation that was facing the president. And at the end of the day, I just want to read to you the response that was given by one of the diplomats as the spokesperson. I will read it exactly as it was. I think you have read about it. Your Excellency, we are grateful that you have chosen to inform us about your decision. We know, sir, that we are not entitled to this kind of treatment, but we interpret it as a show of your confidence in our being cooperating partners with the government. We also applaud the changes you are making, and I confirm our support to your country. Because of the deed of the president, I mean, he was the president. He could have done whatever he thought, but a servant leader brings everybody into the room and hears every voice. The 10 components of time to think: giving attention, creating an environment, an easy environment. He brought them, and the atmosphere was conducive. He was very sincere with them. He was, specific with them. He was succinct. So I want us now, at this point in time, as leaders, to engage, to do a small session that will just take us less than 10 minutes. A small session of thinking pairs. But we will think over, I specifically raised up something that we will think over as pairs. There will be a question to each group. The groups of let's just make groups of 4, so that we won't have too many groups. 4 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, we were 12. So the other group can have 3. Okay, let's use Brenda also. She's part of us. 4 groups. We are looking, this is about servant leadership, where you bring people together and you have time to give them an opportunity. You want to hear what they have, but they cannot tell you what to do and what they think. But as a leader, you create an environment that is conducive. By so doing, you as the leader or I as the leader, I'll then hear what they are thinking and what they are feeling. The people we look at probably as our subordinates, we think they don't know anything. They've got a lot of things. They think over the things that are challenging us as leaders. We will take turns in thinking is, what do you think about unions at the school and what are your thoughts? So we give each other a turn. We take turns. One person speaks, one person after another. You just give, what do you think about unions? What do you think about unions? I picked this specifically when we went to Litamu, when the issue of unions was just raised in a moment. But then I think I want us to discuss about it. Now, can we go through it? I think we are aware. What do? We get turns. You listen others, one speaks, others listen. And then at the end, it's like, what do you think? I know it's supposed to be done with two people, but let's do it as four. It can still happen, the pairs of fours. We will time the time.
The negative side is them being interfering a lot with management. Like at some point, you feel like union members would want to tell teachers that you should focus more on your rights than what you are there for at work. So some teachers will tend to do wrong things thinking that the union will be standing up for them. So that is the bad side of the union. But on the good part of it, they tend to bridge a gap between the management of the school and the teachers. Because as the management of the school, if you have problems and then you call in the members of the union to say, this is what we have, if they can find what the management is there, they are aware that on the other hand, afraid of them. They are already trying their best to challenge everything which they can do. When you have something that is affecting educators directly, it is your responsibility to inform the science. If you can have a positive relationship with the science committees, I think the women need to be supported at all.
They are given rights by the constitution. So from where I'm sitting, as I said, I don't have to since I take the main purpose, we want to unite our people. We are saying united in itself, but divided in itself. So I think moving forward, as I take even that principle of time to think, it's proper to make sure that people are it's important to make sure that those united people, those who are with peace are informed and motivated to work together, to play as a team. Teamwork is a good one. Whether you are in education or the department of health, so that is not that way.
If they are there in our, in our working areas, then it is critical to you as the leader or as the CEO to address that person authentically and very, very assertively. In most cases, it's how we do presentation, how we talk to people who are problematic that they can keep on doing that. So I want us for the last few minutes again, we have done this before, but I want us to do a parade of ones. I think as a leader, it is important to practice it. Yes, FELIX has come. How do you address him? Yes, the parade of ones from a leader, they are very critical. It's a leader who knows what he wants. He knows where he wants to go, and he knows how to speak authentically and assertively so, and get what he wants. So can we go back again into those rounds, those three groups? What we'll be doing in those three groups, now one person will sit, and the three, they will be listening. One person address one person. One person address one person. It will just take us 2 minutes. Please don't exceed. Just tell the person the needs, your wants. You are addressing a problematic member of the staff, and you want to be authentic and assertive. So let's go back into those groups because I'm behind time now.
Just state what one points are, and that is let's address the problem, but let's leave emotions out of it, and let's get to the root of the problem. We allow emotions to come in, other things things are brought into that. So let's get to the problem by eliminating emotions, and let's just stop the root of the problem.
So if I do say my list of wants to a problematic person, I think the most important thing I would ask is, first of all, what have they done to resolve the current issue? And where did the issue start originally? Because if we talk in terms of servant leadership, what we actually want is, we want teachers to be able to give. So they are not there to take, they are there to give. So I first of all want to know in terms of servant leadership, what have they done to give, to sort the situation out? And then I would ask of them, what is the initial core of the issue? And then from the core, we can try and establish what has influenced the problem to escalate so big. Because a lot of the times, the core is something this small, and then it turns into a mountain. So we argue about what subjects you've given me to teach. And
So,
then,
at the moment, 5 minutes will be finished before you're done. It's like we are making an assumption that all the processes you are talking about, they are done. But here we just want to do a parade of ones, specifically. So what you're saying is, we are assuming many things have been done. So address this Matukela and say, this is what I want, and I'm expecting from you. I hear you 100%. But there are processes that we are assuming they are done, that have brought us here. Thank you.
Remember that the time we did the first week, so what did you specifically need from me? Now, John, I want you to report as early as possible. You know, always our briefing starts 7:30. You report 7:45. From today onwards, I need you to report after 7 so that you may be early for the briefings. As and when I give you my management plan for books and activities that you should submit to me, submit them a day before or 8 o'clock on the day of submission. Do not have reasons for late submissions, because that is going to cause us to come back and sit on this table. I don't want to have problems with you. I want to establish sound relationship between myself and you. Thank you, Don.
go Andres.
Oh, then Sarasman, it is clear that we had challenges in the past, but nevertheless, thank you for attending this meeting. It's a very brief meeting, but I'm here to remind you of the policy of curriculum delivery. That in the classroom situation, we are not just there to just play games, but we're here for quality education and learning for our kids. And make sure that number one, as we teach effectively as per that policy, as per the lesson plan, and make sure you introduce the lesson as expected, we present it as expected, and summarize accordingly. And first and foremost, make sure that you also assess properly. You can give them as informal assessment tasks, because you remember the performance of data has been speaking very clearly that they've been struggling in your subject mathematics, for instance, and make sure that going forward, after teaching, give them a lot of written work. Start from the informal assessment task, because going forward, as you give them formal tasks, at least you have a background of having prepared them effectively. With the relevant quizzes, which are also able to prepare them as you use common papers. Sometimes we had challenges with that, saying that because common papers are using very difficult ways.
I've seen in the temporary performance of your teachers' performance.
Wonderful, thank you. Thank you for sticking to the time, and thank you for bringing in every voice in the room. Excellent. I'm sure in our engagement we have learned something that we can take along with us. We're going to break.